What are the secrets behind Zuko's dragon, Druk? Making very brief appearances in The Legend of Korra, Druk, the massive red dragon's origin story, has never been fully revealed. The show's creators, Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko, have shared some interesting information about Druk, while so little. They both seem to hold on to some sort of secret information. Perhaps they keep the dragons a mystery in the Avatar universe, but I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this with a little visit to the Dragon Bone Catacombs. In this video, I will explain how Zuko got his dragon, reveal Druk's origin story, and explore the Thunder Dragon's unique abilities. Now, let's open the Fire Nation's Book of Dragons and find out all about Druk's origins. According to legends within the Avatar universe, dragons were once upon a time many. That is, before the evil Fire Lord Sozin's reign. You see, under Sozin's rule, these mythical creatures started to be seen as hunting prizes. Slaying dragons became a sport for the Fire Nation's warriors, and those who succeeded in killing one would receive a legendary title, the one of Dragon. Not only did the Fire Nation wipe out the entire air nomads during the 100-Year War, or almost, but an entire species, or almost. My dear viewers, we owe the saving of the last two dragons to none other than the fans' favorite tea lover, Iroh. Years before Aang and Zuko met with the Sun Warriors and had to perform the dragon dance for dragons Ran and Shaw, Iroh stumbled upon the Lost Nation. The firebending tribe living outside of the main Fire Nation society taught Iroh a few tricks, like the fire-breathing technique. In exchange for their hospitality and probably some really good tea, Iroh promised not to divulge their secrets. So he kept Ran and Shaw's existence in the dark, lying about slaying the very last dragon. This little lie gave our friendly uncle the threatening title of Dragon of the West. Ooh, scary. And thanks to him, Fire Lord Zuko was able to gain his own dragon pet named Druk decades later. But where does Druk actually come from? The show and the comic book sequels have shown us a few variants of dragons, from white to green, but never really explained Druk's origins. In terms of timeline, the first dragon that's shown up in Avatar history is the white spirit dragon that trained Avatar Wan back in the day. In a flashback in The Legend of Korra, we see it help Wan acquire the dragon dance technique, which, as we know, is kept alive during Aang's journey to master all four elements. That means that Druk's bloodline stretches way back to before the spirit world and the human world had been separated. Following the story chronologically, the next dragon that appears in the Avatar universe is a green one in the comic book Avatar: The Lost Adventures. The short chapter Dragon Days is firstly set during the events of Book 4 Fire, as Aang and Zuko train together after meeting Ran and Shaw. Feeling a tad nostalgic, our boy Aang remembers the first time he saw a mighty dragon with his Fire Nation friend Kuzan. Now, we don't know much about Kuzan, but some rumors have been floating around that he might actually have been Prince Azulon, heir to the Fire Throne after Sozin. But, my little firebenders, that discussion is for another day. To make it brief, in Dragon Days, the two boys save the egg of a green dragon after scaring a bunch of thieves away, even getting a little dragon kiss, or more like a giant gooey tongue lick from the oversized chicken lizard. Ew. Anyway, just before the flashback starts, Aang tells Zuko that there were tons of dragons before, and to the Fire Prince's surprise, they were actually shy, living hidden away in mountains. Now, I'm not quite sure how dragon genetics work, but if we take into account color, so far our heroes have encountered 4 color types: white, green, red, and blue. Since the white spirit dragon and the green dragon had been spotted without another dragon by their side, it makes it easy for you and I to imagine that their love interest was in fact a red dragon. This could mean that both Aang and Kuzan, or Azulon, had a hand in saving Druk's ancestors by saving that purple and red egg. Now let's go back to Ran and Shaw, the two dancing dragons. During a 2014 Q&A session, Avatar and Korra creators Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko confirmed that Druk is actually a direct descendant of both Ran and Shaw. This means that Zuko, as Fire Lord, went back to meet with the dragons and adopted Druk. But why would the fire-breathing reptiles give away their offspring to Fire Nation royalty, considering that most of Fire Lord Ozai's citizens tried to wipe out their species? Turn the page to the next chapter to find out. Now, if you read the comic book Smoke and Shadow, you'll know how the Fire Nation is divided over Zuko's ascension to the throne. For more on that one, check out one of the previous Avatar videos, Smokebenders Are Elite Firebenders. Fire Lord Zuko wants to change the Fire Nation's ways and pull out its colonies, which angers a lot of people. The boy can't even get a good night's sleep with ninjas swinging chains at him in the middle of the night. So rude. Anyway, while things got better as time passed by, I have a feeling Rand, Shaw, and the whole Sun Warriors tribe would have been in danger if some Fire Nation mercenaries discovered them. Imagine the value of selling dragons, dead or alive, in this era. Or even better and easier, to steal a dragon egg. That's right, Rand and Shaw probably did their own little dragon dance together, if you know what I mean. Now this brings us to Zuko's second visit to the Sun Warrior tribe. As you know, he won the two dragons' respect by competing in the dragon's equivalent of Dancing with the Stars with Aang. So, after being crowned, a little visit was in order. And this is where he discovered that a newborn dragon was about to hatch. Worried about the probable displacement of the Fire Nation colonies and the trouble that would follow, Rand and Shaw gave their baby away for Zuko to protect. With dragons still believed to be extinct by the public, it was the perfect plan to keep Druk safe somewhere in a gigantic private mansion on Ember Island. While it's quite possible that besides Rand and Shaw, who won't live forever, there are other dragons out there, we still have no proof of that yet. For Zuko, Ember Island is a place full of good childhood memories. Every summer, he would travel there to spend quality time with his family. His fondest memories of his cousin Lu Ten, who fell during the war, are all linked to the family's beach house. So it's no wonder that he would choose the island to not only rebuild himself after all that happened, but take care of and cherish what would become his lifetime companion. While Azula is still cuckoo and on the run with her smoke-bending fire warriors, Zuko has rebuilt his own family without her. Of course, he has Team Avatar, his Uncle Iroh, but also his mother Ursa. Everyone pretty much thought she was gone forever until she was found with a fresh new face and living under the name Noriko. In the comic book sequel The Search, Ursa was given a whole new face by the Mother of Faces, a giant multi-faced spirit who also happens to be that creepy Ko's mom. Yep, that same weird insect-like face stealer who tried to get Aang's face to add to his collection. Being a bit nicer than her estranged son, but not much, she gave Ursa her only way out of Ozai's aim, taking her face and her memories as queen. But don't be too sad for her. She eventually regains her face and her memories, goes back to the castle, and confronts Ozai, now a tiny, pathetic, powerless man. While that meeting seemed to have powered her up, she still has some trauma about the palace. And who wouldn't? That's why Ursa would move permanently to Amber Island with a new husband and daughter. This, without a doubt, would be the perfect plan to hide Druk while he's growing up and keep rumors about the place down to a minimum. While Druk spent his childhood under the sun of Ember Island, his true nature lies in the power of thunder. Get ready for Chapter 3. We're flying right to the heart of the storm. Now, since firebending was taught to Wan by a dragon, there's a lot of chance that lightning generation was also a technique mastered through the help of one of these beasts. In the past, the technique was so rare that people thought it was a myth. Of course, things have changed quite a lot in Korra's era, with a bunch of lightning benders generating energy for Republic City. But, like all elements, benders have first learned from animals how to control their elemental bending without catching on fire or accidentally freezing themselves. This is where Druk's name is important. The dragon's name comes from Tibetan and Bhutanese mythology and represents a thunder dragon. We don't know a lot about Druk's abilities, besides the fact that he flies and most probably breathes fire, like any good dragon would. But his name and the fact that firebenders can use lightning hints at his potential for lightning generation. How exactly would he use lightning? Well, one potential theory would be that just like fire, he would breathe thunder, but it would work more or less with the nature of lightning generation. The technique, which requires a firebender to get rid of all emotion and be in a state of total peace of mind, is too precise compared to firebending. Druk might just shock himself that way. Don't try this at home, kids. The lightning is produced by separating positive and negative energies from within, and then needs to be directed to a specific point in the body. Firebenders channel their energies through the arm and out of their fingertips, making the technique quite precise and also very dangerous. Now, I don't see a dragon using a fancy martial arts move to shoot lightning at its enemies, but Druk must have these sharp and narrow horns for something, right? Not only would he be able to shoot lightning through the tip of his horns, but also channel thunder from the sky, which would overpower him and allow him to let out an amazing electrical charge, but also almost fly at the speed of light. Would Zuko be able to mount him while he's overcharged like a battery? If he wants to be Druk's next fried dinner, maybe. But I wouldn't advise it. Having a Thunder Dragon trained to its full potential would be a game changer, but would also inspire firebenders to improve their techniques. If they can control lightning from within, what stops them from channeling the sky's thunder? Alright, probably being afraid of being struck by lightning or something like that, but hear me out. With advanced bending techniques, we could see in future comics or a new generation the arrival of pure thunderbenders. Well, and if more dragons started showing up, we could get Thunderbender Knights on top of Thunder Dragons. Electrifying! User Tervilaset brought up a good firebending idea in a previous video on woodbending. They wrote, imagine if the Avatar could make a fire sword with wood, metal, and fire. I don't know about you, but that sounds quite OP if you ask me. Hey, what kind of thunder-infused weapon would you carry if you had one of these Thunder Dragons? A thunder hammer, maybe? Let me know in the comments.